Clearing the Chartered Accountancy Intermediate exam is like staring down a vertical cliff face. The volume of information you have to process is staggering. Once you register, the clock starts ticking on a mandatory minimum study window of 8 months. Every single day of that timeline has to be accounted for. Success at this stage requires more than just long hours at a desk. You need a structural strategy to survive the syllabus. You have to make a choice before you even open a book. Do you divide the 6 subjects into 2 manageable groups, or do you attempt to tackle all of them at once? Most students arrive at this decision point through the standard route, meaning they have already cleared the CA foundation exams. Others arrive through direct entry. If you are a graduate with at least 55% in commerce or 60% in other fields, you bypass the foundation tier and start here. Regardless of the route, the baseline cost of entry is an 18,000 rupee registration fee, which commits you to the 8-month study period. As this chart shows, the syllabus is split into 6 papers. 3 of those papers make up Group 1, and the remaining 3 form Group 2. When you fill out your exam form, the costs reflect your strategy. You pay 1,500 rupees to attempt a single group, or 2,700 to sit for both. This initial choice on the application form dictates your daily schedule, your stress levels, and your mathematical odds of passing for the rest of the year. To understand those odds, look at the grading system. 30% of every paper consists of objective multiple-choice questions. There is a clear advantage in this section. The ICAI currently does not use negative marking. A wrong guess does not penalize your existing marks. But the remaining 70% is entirely subjective. This part requires you to construct long-form answers that prove you have mastered the technical material. This brings us to the core hurdle of the system, the 40-50 rule. On a micro level, you must score a minimum of 40 marks on every individual paper. If you score a 39 on just one subject, you failed the entire group. On a macro level, getting exactly 40 in every subject isn't enough. You are also required to achieve a 50% aggregate score across the entire group. Surviving individual tests is mathematically insufficient. You have to generate surplus marks in your strongest subjects to pull your total average above the 50% line. Look at the math for a single group attempt. A student taking only Group 1 needs 150 out of 300 points to pass. In this example, the student scored 140. Under the single group strategy, that 10-point deficit results in a total failure. There is no safety net. If that same student attempts both groups simultaneously, the requirement shifts to 300 out of 600. Let's say they scored a strong 170 on Group 2. The 170 offsets the 140. With a total of 310, the student passes both groups, erasing the initial failure. The Institute explicitly calls this the set-off benefit. By attempting both groups, you link your performance across all 6 papers. Your strongest subjects can mathematically rescue your weakest ones. Sometimes, despite the strategy, a student misses the aggregate requirement and fails the attempt. But the system has a built-in insurance policy, the 60+ exemption rule. If you score 60 or more marks on an individual paper, you do not have to sit for that specific exam again for the next 3 cycles. This creates a very specific tactic. If a student realizes they might fail the group, they will often pour all their energy into a single subject just to lock in that 60-mark exemption for the future. Exemptions serve as a fallback, preserving your study time for the next attempt, even if the current one goes poorly. Beyond the math of passing, your exam strategy directly impacts your leverage in the professional market. The prestigious All India Rank List, the top 50 students in the country, is only open to those who take both groups. Single-group students are ineligible. Top-tier accounting firms use these rankings to filter thousands of applications. Scoring an All India rank is the most direct path to securing an articleship at a Big 4 firm. There is also a timeline advantage. You cannot begin your 2 years of mandatory practical training until you have cleared CA Intermediate entirely. Clearing both groups at once moves you out of the classroom and into your professional training faster, which jumpstarts your earning potential. You will likely face pressure to take both groups for the prestige, but this matrix helps determine what actually fits your life. In the top right, we have the optimizer. This is a full-time student with high ambition who wants to work in an elite firm. For the optimizer, taking both groups is necessary to access the set-off safety net and qualify for a national ranking. In the bottom left, we have the steady pacer. This profile includes working professionals, direct entry graduates, or anyone with limited daily study hours. The steady pacer should choose the single group strategy. This protects your mental health and ensures you can focus on mastering 3 subjects at a time. Ultimately, the right strategy is the one that balances the math of the ICAI grading system with the hours you can realistically commit to the library every single day.